Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy YouTube Blue coming back at you again, and just real quick before I get started talking about last night's game, and to clarify some stuff I said on the video last night. Those of you that follow me or obviously are trolls or whatever, let me tell you something right now. Don't compare me to any other YouTuber. I am not like anybody else. I'm myself. I'm not a homer. I don't know these players personally, outside of the ones that my frat brothers. I've met a couple of them. But again, at the end of the day, I speak on facts, straight facts. That's why I clarify all the time how much I keep it real, because that's all I know. Now, I speak on what I see. I speak on what I know that this coaching staff or this team is doing. And I speak on a realistic standpoint. Whether it's a positive or negative about the team, I'm going to speak on it because I see that issue is the problem. Or if there's something good, I'm going to speak on it. So again, now that's out the way. About last night's game, we already know that it was abomination. I had an inkling that it was going to go like that because of the simple fact that a lot of our starters never played in the preseason. They didn't have time together. And again, I don't make excuses for no player, nobody, because I don't care. I don't. I'm just telling you what I see. So, for that matter, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm a real fan. I speak it how it is, whether it's good or bad. And I give credit where credit's due. And that credit, you got to give Carolina Panthers their credit. They came in here, their defense, K'Wan Short, Dontari Poe, Luke Kuechly, those guys knew what they were doing. Luke Kuechly is like our Sean Lee when it comes to being cerebral and knowing how to play the position. They're study warriors. There's tape out there. They look at the tape of the Cowboys. They see this. We do the same damn things over and over again every year. If I'm sitting on the couch and I can tell you what the Cowboys are doing, what do you think the defenses can do? Come on now. It's not rocket science. So, again, I'm not going to sit here and keep bashing Dak like some of you guys do, because I'm going to need you guys to put on your fucking football thinking caps and think rationally here, all right? Let me take it back for 1 second. When Dak Prescott first got on this team, you guys said that, oh, he did great his first year because the teams didn't have tape on him. First of all, they have tape on you after the first game. So for you to go 13-3, and you mean the teams didn't get it by week 3? If Dak sucked that bad, he wouldn't have done half of what he did his rookie year. He wouldn't have beat Aaron Rodgers. He wouldn't have. Again, he's done some things that Romo didn't do early in his career, and Romo didn't start till his 3rd or 4th season. So again, I'm not making no excuses for Dak because I'm going to explain Dak's faults because he has a lot of them. And Dak is not great, and he's never going to be an elite quarterback, but he definitely is capable enough of getting a team to a playoffs, and with pieces around him, and with a capable-ass coaching staff, which we do not have. Again, I'm putting things in perspective right now. Let's go back. Like I said, when Dak Prescott first got on this team, everybody kept saying, oh, yeah, well, he's nothing without Zeke. Yeah, Zeke is a monster. We know what Zeke can do. But Zeke didn't do anything last night. Why? Because we know that if Zeke doesn't play in preseason, just like with any player that's human, if you don't play, you're going to be rusty. So it's going to take you time to come back to your dominance. Everybody kept saying he was tired. Yeah, he was tired. He didn't play in preseason. He didn't even get hit. So because of that reason, you already knew what was going to happen. I was like, Ezekiel Elliott is not going to play great. Because of that reason. Because he did not play in preseason. He did not do much outside of practice. And again, he wasn't getting hit in practice. He was just running. Anybody can run. But Dak still had Tony Romo on his team. There was Mark Sanchez. Now, both of these guys are veteran players in the league. They've made their mistakes, too. They've done their thing. We already know Mark Sanchez had his butt fumble earlier in his career when he was with the Jets. But again, every quarterback makes mistakes. Every human being makes mistakes. Everybody has to learn their craft better from this level to this level to this level. The higher level you get, the harder the competition gets. So, again, yes, this is Dak's third year. And I think that he's capable of doing better. But when you don't have people around you that are putting you in a position to be better, you can't be better. You look at when Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for a couple of years before he got it. And then they have a great coach with Mike McCarthy. You look at with Cam Newton, Mike Rivera, a great coach. They got Norv Turner as their coordinator. Great coach. Hate to give the Eagles credit, but the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Why? Their first year with their new coach, Doug Peterson. And their offensive coordinator is not on the team no more. I forgot his name. I think he went to the Patriots. And they have defensive mind guy, Jim Schwartz, ex-coach of the Detroit Lions, as their defensive coordinator. Of course they were going to do better. They got their players in positions that they needed to get done. The Eagles ain't never won the Super Bowl before that. And the year before that, they had a lot of the same players. So you mean to tell me that it was the players that was the reason why? Yes, the players executed because the coaches had a great plan. And you look at when you play a team like the Patriots, you have to do different things that you haven't done. You have to keep going. You have to be creative. There's a lot of creative plays in that Super Bowl. Creative plays that the Cowboys rarely do. I can name on one hand how many times the Cowboys have done creative plays. Like last season when they did that end around to Dez Bryant, and Dez Bryant threw the ball left-handed, because he's left-handed, to Jason Witten for the touchdown. See, things like that. They should have waited for that play for the playoffs. Stuff like that. Do things that you've never done. First of all, in my opinion, I'm sorry, I'm getting off the top. Let me go back right quick. So, like I said, Dak Prescott had Tony Romo there in his ear telling him, hey, this is what you did wrong. This is what you need to do better. When you see this, do this. When this guy twitches, when this guy does this, when he does his hand sign, you do this. Now, you look at this game, Dak Prescott was changing the plays, RPO, but Luke Kuechly already knew what was going on. Their defense did their homework. They know that the Cowboys do the same shit over and over and over and over again. We have like 5 to 7 plays on the route sheet that we go through, and all we do is switch up personnel. But they know what it is. They know what it is. It's not rocket science. So my deal is, why do we keep going with this conservative-ass offensive plan? You see how much the defense has changed since Chris Richard came in here. And we adjusted some of the roster on defense. You see how much better they got? That's not off a coincidence, y'all. That's coaching. Most of these players on defense have been the same. We lost Anthony Hitchens, and LVE doesn't even have to do that much because we have other linebackers that are there. So again, implement a game plan and do better. Because your game plan is garbage. I'm just saying. Jason Garrett and his rah-rah and his clapping, you just get so tired of it, because it's like, we don't necessarily need you to get, you don't have to be like other coaches and get in the players' faces on the team, but whatever that you do behind closed doors, we know that you use the F word a lot. We've seen it on All or Nothing. But again, you need to come off of this conservative game plan. You and Linehan need to come up with better plays. You need to come up with a little more creativity. Stop being so damn traditional. Like, God, I understand the Cowboys are known for this whole traditional thing with the star and not changing things. But this is 2018, and other teams are progressing. Other teams are doing better with less talent. You're going to sit here and tell me that teams are doing better with less talent, and we're sitting here not doing a damn thing? You cut Dan Bailey. And Maher misses a goddamn field goal. Now what you going to do? To save, what, $3 million that you haven't even used? You didn't even go out and get another player. You didn't make any trades. All you did was try to go get Earl Thomas. You know you're not going to get that right now because you know that Seattle do not want to give him to you because they know that they're going to play us on week 3. So again, as I digress, for some reason this staff is so keen on trying to stay in this mediocrity role. They just like being mediocre. And I don't understand it. And this is not the Dallas Cowboys that we know. When we were winning Super Bowls, when Tom Landry was here, when Bill Parcells was here, they weren't putting up with none of this crap. Come on now. A change has to be made right now. You keep changing your personnel. You keep changing these players. You keep changing coordinators. But they're not the problem. The problem is Garrett and Linehan. Period. I thought that Linehan was better than this because when he was the coordinator for the Lions, when Calvin Johnson was still there, they were doing some things. Now, granted, they weren't even great then, but they were still winning games. What happened when you came to Dallas? Is it Garrett that's in your ear that's not letting you do more or what? Now, Dak hasn't got to the point in his career where he's comfortable enough to change the plays to do his own thing. You see when Sanchez was in his ear, when Tony Romo was there in his ear, telling him play by play, do this, do this, do this, it was helping him. So if you knew that that's what helped him, why not have a veteran on this roster just to do that? Because Kellen Moore is not a proven quarterback himself to even give you that type of advice. Now, it's cute that he's the coordinator and the coach, the quarterback's coach or whatever, because Dak wants him, they like each other, that's fine. But if it's not helping Dak get better, then it doesn't make sense. I don't have anything against Kellen Moore. You could keep him on the staff, but you need to have a veteran in here. Even if you just pay him to be a player's coach, it will help Dak. And this is how I know that it's not all of Dak. Because I've seen Dak do better. Let's go back to Mississippi State. Dak took Mississippi State to a freaking title with nobodies. No name players. Players that wasn't even going to sniff the NFL. But won a title with him. And he threw the ball deep in college. I'm not saying that Dak can't throw the ball deep. He does need to get better at it. But if you watch training camp, you saw him going deep with Michael Gallup. And you did see him go deep to Gallup in the 49ers game in preseason. So, again, if I see you do that, I know that you can do it. Now, again, the game plan wasn't implemented then. So Dak was able to do a little bit more because the games didn't count. It was just training camp practice. So he's just playing around doing his thing. So when you're implementing the plan, I could tell that they're holding Dak back. They're not allowing him to throw the ball deep. You look at the spray chart, the chart that shows his incompletions and completions. There was nothing that was thrown more than 15 or 20 yards down the field. It was a lot of dump-offs. You guys keep saying he's dink and dunk Dak. Okay, okay. Because that's what he's been doing. But I don't think he's doing that because he can't do better. I think he's doing that because that's what the coaches want him to do because that's the game plan that they have set up right now. Which is a damn shame to me because you're killing Dak Prescott's career. You're making the fans dislike him. You're making this Cowboys nation break apart. You're making these fans get irate and not wanting to be on the team and like Dak sucks and Dak needs to go. But again, I don't believe that Dak is the problem, and I'm not making no fucking excuses. I'm telling you what it is. Dak is not an elite quarterback, but like I said, I believe that he's capable of doing the job with an adequate amount of coaching and an adequate amount of people around him. Yes, he's no Aaron Rodgers, and yes, he's no Tom Brady, and he never will be. But he's that second tier guy. He's a guy that can get you there. But you got to put the pieces around him. We have the talent on the team. We got Zeke Elliott. We got Rod Smith. Now, as far as his wide receiver core goes, even though these guys are technically no names or guys that you necessarily wouldn't put on your fantasy draft first, they don't suck. They have speed. They can catch the ball. They are capable. What's the issue? Do we need to get the coordinators together and be like, look, I know that Sanjay Lal has these wide receivers on a rotation right now until they figure out who's going to step up to be exactly where. I get that right now because you're still experimenting with it. That's fine. But, again, you cut Dez Bryant because of why? Is it because he talked too much? Is it because he's passionate about football? Is it because you think that he was a distraction? Is it because you think that he couldn't run routes? Well, if Sanjay Lal is such a route guru and teaching these guys the fundamental basics, then how come you couldn't do that with Dez Bryant? At least give him a chance to do that while he was here. You just go ahead and just cut all your players that are great. I mean, yes, I know this is a what have you done for me lately, and I know that Dez had his drops, and I know that Dez wasn't great with Dak, but a lot of that is because him and Dak just didn't have that chemistry. Now, Dak has his issues. Trust me, he does. Dak wasn't throwing the ball right to Dez. Dak wasn't working with Dez after practice or what we like to call after school, where they did their own practice and did their homework and tried to get together. Because I know that if I was a quarterback of the team, I'm trying to gain camaraderie with all of my receivers, my tight ends, whoever the hell I'm throwing the ball to, my running backs. I want to make sure that I'm doing my job right. And I feel like Dak is going to falter if this coaching staff continues with this level of mediocrity, this level of conservativeness, this level of not being creative. Perfect example. When we had other players on this team, Brandon Weeden, Matt Castle. Matt Castle took the Patriots to a playoffs when Tom Brady was injured. Back when he was there. So, to say that, even Kyle Orton did some things when he was here. But both Matt Castle and Brandon Weeden didn't really throw the ball deep when they were here because the game plan didn't allow them to. Because it was still in the Tony Romo's system. But the difference between Tony Romo is Tony Romo ain't listened to none of the offensive coordinators. Tony Romo went in there with shit. Why do you think that the clock kept going down to like 1 second and everybody's like, yo, hike the ball? Because he was in there changing the plays and he was trying to get the wide receivers to get what he was trying to get them to do. I.e. Dez, because Dez didn't know the playbook like that back then. Which is also shame on him, which I understand why they cut him because of that reason. But again, as far as sheer talent, you cut a lot of talent off this team that we could be using right now. It's just ways of adjusting it to make it better for your team. It just baffles me because, you know, Tony Romo did his thing and Tony Romo did what he wanted to do and Tony Romo took chances. And yes, he threw some interceptions and made mistakes, but those 8-8 seasons could have been easily 4-12 if it wasn't for Tony Romo doing what he did, by not listening to the offensive coordinator and reading the defenses. Dak Prescott has to do better at reading defenses. Hopefully that will come the more and more he's put in the fire. He also has to learn to go through his progressions better. He needs to look at the whole field and not just stay on one side. He has to be able to look at everybody, and he has to know when that rush is coming. Granted, this offensive line, you know, you can get spoiled behind this offensive line when it's fully healthy, but right now it's not healthy. And because you got, again, you got the rookie Connor Williams over there. And again, Connor Williams needs to stay where he is. I heard somebody say they wanted him to go to right tackle. No, because that's where Lyle Collins is. You don't want to keep moving these guys because just because you play one spot on the offensive line, it's different on a different side of the offensive line. Every position is not the same. You have different assignments. Now, all I'm saying is when it comes to him being where he is, he's going to get better. I know that Connor Williams is going to get better. He just has to get stronger. He got to keep getting in that weight room, and he has to learn. Again, you just went against K'Wan Short and Dontari Poe. These guys are really good. You got to give them their credit, first of all, because they're great defensive linemen. But that's a rookie coming in there going, that's like a boy, that's like David and Goliath. So, you know, it's going to take him time to get used to that. And again, Travis Frederick is not in there to help him out. Joe Looney is not able to help him out like Travis Frederick would. That's the reason why Travis Frederick starts and Joe Looney doesn't. But Joe Looney does his job great. He does his job fine. I don't have any issues with Joe Looney doing his job. But as far as helping the younger guy, he's not able to do that and sustain his job as well. So with that being said, y'all, I'm just trying to put some things in perspective that, you know, I guarantee you if Jason Garrett, if we get some new coaching in here, I don't know who that will be. I don't know if one of the coordinators will step up or if they get somebody from the outside. I'm going to have to look at some of these guys that are maybe in college, that are coaching in college that has their contract's about to be up. I don't want Lane Kiffin because, again, we had his dad here, and I don't think that I don't think that the Cowboys are gonna go that route. But another thing too, this team is predicated on running the ball, which is fine, but you still have to implement a passing game because when teams come in here and be like, "I'm gonna shut your running game down," we don't have much options in the passing game, so we have to. Again, it goes back to play calling. We have to get better plays in here. We have to learn different calls, and we have to change the calls. Didn't you hear Des Bryant just say that I saw a tweet that Des Bryant was like, it's so funny that I can just call the plays from home. Because Des still knows what they're doing. So again, if there's a player that switched teams and went to another team, now they still know all the signs and the calls because the Cowboys don't switch it up. Every offseason, you're supposed to switch your line calls up. If you're not doing that, the other teams are going to know exactly what you're doing. And that is the reason why we are faltering. Because we have a great running game when it works. But when you have teams that have great defensive line that can shut that shit down, we have nothing. Then we become dink and dunk. We become dink and dunk because we don't have plays implemented for us to throw the ball deep. You went and got wide receivers that are fast for a reason, right? So why are you not using them in the way that you are intended to use it? You got Tavon, you got Deontay Thompson. They both can catch the ball and they both can run. Use them downfield. Michael Gallup, use him downfield. You got Allen Hurns that can play the X and the Y. He can play the slot as well as the X. So you need him to play to these guys' strengths. You got Cole Beasley, got a shifty guy in him. He had 73 yards on 7 catches. So again, utilize your players and do what you're supposed to do, period. All right? I just wanted to just quickly say that because that was on my chest all day today while I was out working. And I just had a chance to just sit and just get it to you guys. So just think about that, all right? Again, like I said, I ain't making no excuses for no players. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. 100, 200 if I can. But I'm telling you right now, if they switch that coaching out, I'm talking about the head coach and the offensive coordinator, you will see a big change in Dak Prescott. Because again, it's just like you're only as good as your weakest link. And our weakest link right now is the clapper. And I'm not the one to sit here and say, oh, we need to tank the season just so Garrett cannot be the coach no more. That sounds good. But as a fan, you don't want to say that. You don't want your team to tank. Yeah, we might get a great first round pick out of it, but you really don't want your team to tank. You don't want that. You don't want that. Because we already getting a lot of criticism outside of the team anyway. Because, you know, NFL Network is going to be shitting on the Cowboys for this whole first half of the season. So, we just got to do better. I'm telling you, if we get in here and we shape up this week and we beat these New York Giants and get ready for Seattle, you'll start to see a change. Like I said, I'm not hitting the panic button yet because it was only the first game of the season. Yes, it was disappointing. Yes, it was hurt. It hurts. It hurts to lose. It does. But that's life. You don't win everything. But what you have to do is you have to learn from your mistakes and you got to get better. And I need this coaching staff to do their job. I need these players to do their job. I need everybody to do their job. With that being said, y'all, like, share, comment. It's your boy E2 Blue. Always keeping it real. I'll talk to y'all soon.